Welcome back to another segment of Middlesex Matters. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Golden, state representative from the city of Lowell and the town of Chelmsford. And I have to say, I'm here with my a host of all hosts, my dear friend Terry Downs from Middlesex Community College. Terry, how are you?
It's true, and aren't you lucky?
You know something? I'm a very lucky man to be sitting next to you.
Thank you. It's true.
How are things going with you?
Things are good. The school is getting underway, so we're happy to be back for the fall. And there's a lot going on, so always good.
And a lot of parents out there, I'm excited that school's getting back going as well.
They're very happy.
Well, could you do me a favor and introduce our guest today?
We are delighted to have with us today Mr. Drew Weber, who is the owner, CEO of the Lowell Spinners baseball team. Drew, thank you for being with us. There's been a lot of happy news in Lowell in the last 20 years business-wise, but the Spinners are probably the happiest of all. How did you get involved in professional baseball, and what's it like to own a professional baseball team?
How I got involved, Terry, this is a half-hour show.
A half-hour show.
Reader's Digest version.
It would become a 2-hour show just to answer that one question. But the long and short of it is, through a ton of situations, I became obsessed with owning a minor league baseball team. And I traveled around the country, and I wound up in Lowell, Massachusetts. To be honest, I was not familiar with Lowell, Massachusetts, but I was very, very lucky to wind up in Lowell, Massachusetts.
That is absolutely dynamite. I'll tell you, I just saw you probably about 3-4 weeks ago when I was at a game, and it was a dynamite game. Absolutely dynamite game. And now you guys are doing things at night as well, right? Doing movies in the park. Later on, I noticed they were doing a movie after the ball game. They were doing some type of movie outside, out in left field, which I saw a bunch of kids really enjoying themselves. You've really promoted yourself as a family-friendly alternative to how many other things that are out there. You're trying to always compete, and I think you guys are doing a great job.
We try to do anything. You know, we get a lot of our ideas really from the fans who write into us.
And they're just, hey, why don't you try this, why don't you try that?
Absolutely. And some of them, I have to tell you the truth, are questionable.
Yeah.
But some of them are great. And we've used many of them over the years.
And what's the easiest way then for a fan to make a suggestion? Is there a website? Is there a phone number? What's the best way to reach your team's business office?
Call me.
Call you?
Sure.
And what number should they call?
978-375, I'm going to regret this, 978-375-4660.
And that gets you right to Drew Weber.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
Yeah. I'd have to say, well, anytime you are, when I'm there, it's not hard to find you. You're pretty much full tilt every time. Now tell me, being an affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, how many players have come through Lowell as a Lowell Spinner that have made it all the way to the top?
Gee, we have, at the park, we have a list of all the players that have gone on to the majors. Many, of course, land on other major league teams, not just the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. But I would say it's somewhere around 75, 80.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And 20 years is a short period of time to have 75 or 80.
Well, it just goes.
That's really great.
The talent that is there. I fancy myself a baseball player, Drew. Senior league. After 15, I think I was done. My career was cut short, unfortunately. But it's a heck of a game to watch, and the talent that you have on that field is just incredible. Absolutely incredible with these young men trying to make it, obviously, all the way. And 75, that's phenomenal.
One of the fun parts of it is, I think everyone who comes to a game, I'm sure both of you, everybody.
Sure.
You try and look at the players and guess who.
And that's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun. And what's unusual about baseball versus the other major sports is that it's very difficult to predict.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There are a lot of players who really were not necessarily standouts at our level who took it up.
Took it
after
up a notch.
leaving Lowell.
No kidding. Now, is that just maturity level, or is it? What do you think? What do you think? One of the key aspects. They just finally hit their stride.
Perhaps they got a coach that they click with. Whether it's a pitching coach or a hitting coach. Perhaps they just matured. Perhaps it was their body, clicking in.
They always had the talent. They just lacked that one, whatever that is, that one piece.
They all have talent. They all have.
Now, do you manage it all? Do you manage the team itself? Do you have managers? I don't think I've ever seen you in the dugout, so I know you're not managing.
No.
How does that part of it work?
Yeah, do you choose, how do you choose these young men?
Or who's choosing the young men? Who's choosing the coaches?
Totally the Red Sox.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Totally the Red Sox. We the Spinners have absolutely nothing at all to do with it.
With the actual players themselves?
Nothing. Nothing to do with the players, the coaches, the trainers. Nothing at all to do with it.
So that aspect of it is run completely by the Boston Red Sox.
That's right.
Do they,
Boston Red Sox says, Terry Downs, you're the new manager, the manager of the Spinners.
Wow.
I think
so,
we could
so,
get
so
that
do they
to happen.
notify you, or in other words, how do you know if there's a change in coaching positions? That sort of
That's
thing?
exactly what happens. They tell us, so-and-so, Terry Downs is going to be going to Salem. Get a plane reservation for him. He's going to be leaving in the morning.
Okay.
Tom Golden is unfortunately being cut.
No.
Tom Golden never would have made it. Never even.
Say it ain't so.
Say it ain't so, Joe. This,
Yeah. Okay, so you get notice of it. You do. That's not part of
And-
what you do.
And it's not, it's not
Sure.
me specifically, but
Right.
yes.
Yeah. That is fascinating. Absolutely
Now,
fascinating.
now for many of the viewers, of course, are very familiar with baseball, but some of them might not know there's single A, double A, triple A. Just quickly, what are the differences among the different levels of minor league ball? Who plays at single A? What is double A? What is triple A?
Sure. A team can have as many single A's as they want. The Red Sox have a single A team below us. They have then us. Then they have a team in Greenville. Then they have a team in Salem.
And those are
Those are all single A.
all
teams.
single A.
All
Okay.
single A teams. A team can only have one double A,
Okay.
And who is double?
and that's Portland, Maine,
Gotcha.
Portland
okay.
Sea Dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
right? And one triple A, which is Pawtucket.
Pawtucket.
Okay.
Right. Interesting.
So double A are players that are better developed, they think have more prospects, and then triple A, of
it's
course.
just like a ladder.
Okay.
Single A,
And
double A,
We've
triple
always
A.
called it the road to Fenway,
All right.
and we're sort of the beginning for many of these young men. We're the first stop
Okay.
in professional baseball.
Professional baseball, but if you think about it, that's awesome. That 75 young men have come through the city, who are now someplace within Major League Baseball, up or down, or still playing the sport. That is absolutely amazing. I think that's a ton of people, to me.
You know what's so great is that think of how many, 70, maybe 75 men have made it to Major League Ball, but how many young men have played with Lowell Spinners?
Good point.
All over the country
Yep.
and the world, and who have, and this is really true, who have wonderful things to say about the city of Lowell.
You
And they
know,
all do.
it's interesting you say that because unlike perhaps in some other communities around the country, the Spinners have been very popular literally from the first day they started 20 years ago. And that certainly has continued and grown under your ownership. What do you think is behind that? Why is it so popular around here? It's been a success from day one.
Well, New England is a hotbed of baseball. There's no question about that. And the fans are are extremely knowledgeable about baseball here. They love baseball. I mean, I was shocked when I came here and I saw that the women were as knowledgeable about the Red Sox as the men.
Oh, sure.
You definitely want to talk to Joan about.
Yes.
She can tell you numbers, and she's down at the stats. My
Right,
wife
yeah.
is just very much into it.
I mean, I'm from New York. Sorry. And
We need to cut this short. I did not know you were from New York. Hold on here.
A special dispensation.
a lot of
Ignore
Yankee-
him.
There's a lot of Yankee fans. And
Yes, there are.
They become real Yankee fans, of course, with the playoffs and the World Series. But the females are few and far between. They really are. They don't-
On the Yankees side, yeah.
Yeah. Here, totally different. I mean, they really know as much as the men.
That's It's. I mean, I've been to your park on a number of occasions, and is there a bad seat? Because if there is, I'd like to see where it is, because I've sat in
really.
all
Yeah.
highest, lowest, middle.
Me too.
Me
too.
I don't think there is a bad seat in the house. I really don't. It's actually an incredible place to watch a game.
It's a beautiful park, and from what I can see, every seat is a good seat.
I love the area around the kids
Yeah.
area.
The kids
Yeah.
love it.
Yes.
What a
Sitting-
popular
yeah.
place.
Yes, they
But
do.
sitting around that area
Yeah.
Yeah.
and getting that angle,
Yep.
I feel like I'm, right on the field.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Your organization helped out a group of veterans, and people should know that. I spoke to your manager, and we put together 35 veterans were over at the park during the day game, the Thursday day game, a couple of weeks back. And I heard back from the veterans organization that put it together. They were treated like kings. So thank you very much for that, and I'm sure that you'll be receiving all types of accolades from the organization as well.
Great.
So Wally Bayless and those guys do a great job. But gentlemen, we've been talking about the Lowell Spinners, how much of a success it is here in the city of Lowell. We appreciate you being here today, Drew, and on behalf of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I know Terry, I want to say thank you very much for being here at Middlesex Matters, because we're big supporters of the Lowell Spinners, and everybody here in the city of Lowell should be too. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here on Middlesex Matters. We'll see you soon.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Jimmy can't sing,
and Tommy can't dance.
so we're gonna put some ants in their pants.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, singing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back to the second half of Middlesex Matters. I'm Tom Golden, your host, with my co-host, the talented Terry Downs.
It's true.
It is true. It is true. Terry, thank you again, and we've been joined today by Drew Weber, the owner of the Lowell Spinners, and I think we're having a pretty lively conversation. But Drew, I have to ask you this question. A number of years ago, a stroke of genius. I mean, the Lowell Spinners has been always known about giving back to the community and always helping out, and whether it be, I hear the folks over in Pawtucketville, youth organization, PYO baseball, they're always talking about a great time and what you do for them. Centerville baseball, I hear about here all the time. But there was one particular time when some of our youngsters had the dreaded Yankee uniform. I don't know if you remember this.
I certainly do.
The dreaded Yankee uniform. And this made news throughout the country, that the Lowell Spinners were going to pay to make sure those Yankee uniforms were no longer there, and they replaced them with Spinners. And I'll tell you what, it was absolutely awesome. I heard it from a few of my friends in New York. They called me immediately. They wanted to know who these Lowell Spinners were and why the Yankees being taken off the.
I heard it from a few of my enemies in New York, actually.
Well, I'm just saying from the organization standpoint, it's probably one of the lasting pieces that I've seen, because anytime I can irritate my friend Howie from New York, who is a New Yorker through and through. He's a Giant fan, he's a Yankee fan, and anything Boston is bad. Anything Boston. And anytime we can try to turn the screws to a guy like him, I want your organization should keep thinking like that. So I just want to say congratulations for doing that.
And you know, that sort of gets me to thinking about the fact that you're so personally involved in so much of what happens. I don't think I've ever gone to a game when you weren't there, downstairs greeting people, saying hello, making sure everything's okay. You don't see that everywhere in professional sports. Why is it so important to you as the team owner that you're so involved every night with the game?
Well, one of the things to me that's the most fun is interacting with the fans. That's to me, that's fun. I remember, we all wear little badges
Right.
with our name on it. And I remember once going into, sometimes I go into, it was called the Gator Pit.
Right.
Recently changed the name, but it was called the Gator Pit, and sometimes I'll go in there while people are eating.
Sure.
And just, walk around and see, how's your dinner, how you doing? One time I forgot to wear, my pin.
Right.
These people are looking at me like, who is this crazy guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, after that, I realized I better,
Make sure you're always wearing your pin.
Right.
yeah,
So they know who you are.
I better introduce myself or whatever.
Yeah.
And, but that's the fun.
And what happens when people realize they're talking to the team owner? Do you get much good information from people?
A lot of times they don't even, truthfully, a lot of times they don't even know.
Okay.
They just think, I won't say team owner or anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't say
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they know I'm an employee of the team. And, whether it's me or if it's, someone else on the team, I want them to be doing that. I think they should be doing that because, you know what? They're coming into our home and we're welcoming them into our home.
Well, that makes a lot of sense from the way you describe it. It's sort of like how readily available the players are. Nothing like little kids being able
Right.
to go up, talk to that guy in the baseball uniform. They're being nice to the kids. They're signing autographs. They're signing baseballs. The program, kids love it. The parents love it. I'm sure it's a lot of work, but there's got to be a lot of fun involved in it too.
Well, I've seen players after they're players, or in the latter years of their playing days, who become much, much, much easier, much nicer, because I think it really starts kicking in what they've got.
Right.
I don't know that they appreciate what they have.
You have a group of young kids, young boys and girls who are looking up to them and looking for, like you said, signing an autograph or
Sure.
just simply saying hi, a tip on the cap. But that's something I think is very special about the park. I mean, it was named after obviously Eddie LaLasha, who was a
Sure.
colleague of mine
Sure.
down at the house, and he had tickets. He had 4 tickets for up until I think he passed, and
That's
he
right.
had kept them, and the special seats for him there, and he was just a special man. But that goes back to, I know many of your employees. When I go there, I mean, 2 of them actually live in my neighborhood, and you have a group of loyal employees that just love working for you, love being there, and they really get to know all of the folks coming. If you're a regular, they start calling you by name. I mean, my next door neighbor Dot, she's there all the time, and she'll start, hey Terry, hey Mike, hey Peter, hey where's Lisa today? She's just starting to rattle off names, and she's like, oh Tommy, I know everybody here and where they sit and what they like to do, but
And that's really important to people. People love that. You walk
sure.
in someplace and somebody calls you by name.
Oh,
That's
Yeah, absolutely.
that's a big deal. And part of this has to be the fact that I assume it's a conscious decision. You've kept ticket prices very reasonable. You've kept the game within easy reach of families, working families, people who want to bring kids to the park. You must have some of the number crunchers urging you to charge more, and yet you've held the line year after year. What goes into that decision? Why not try to get the quick buck?
well, it's. I guess part of it is what you said. If I was sitting up somewhere in New York and in an office and had no connection, no connection, and was really looking at this strictly as a business,
Right.
maybe I'd think differently. But I look at the fans, and I know when someone calls in and says, "Can I have a few more weeks to pay my season tickets?"
Wow.
I can't come. I know they're going to pay it,
Right.
Sure.
but I can't pay it yet.
Right.
And I want to keep my seats.
I want to keep my seats, but I
right.
can't pay it yet. Those kind of things.
Wow.
That's because, I mean, the Spinners are a real fabric of this community. I mean,
Yeah, something tells me that would not happen at the Major League Baseball level. That somebody would say, "That's okay, take your time. We want to work with
pretty
you."
confident that probably wouldn't
Yeah.
happen. I don't think Drew can say that. I think,
Well,
I think we
can
can
say
say it. You know? I mean, the Boston Red Sox will be picking up on this and saying, "Hey, Drew, what were you saying the other
Right.
day at that Middlesex
Yeah,
Matters
but,
show?"
But talk about being part of the community. To recognize how important this is to people and their families, their businesses, that to me speaks volumes about the way you run the place.
And the fact they got rid of Yankee uniforms. I
Yes.
mean, that's just, to me, is still, that's got to be one of the prouder moments
Well,
in the
you know
franchise
what?
history.
We've come a long way. I still remember when my wife Joanne and I first came here, and we had an interview. Somebody interviewed us, and they asked my wife who her favorite player was, and she said Mookie Wilson.
Wow.
That's where we started.
Wow.
Mookie Wilson. That
And
goes
people
back
said,
a way.
Uh-oh, what do we have here? You know,
Yeah.
who at the time, of course, was the
absolutely.
anti-hero in Boston.
But a fabulous baseball player.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
You can't take that
Fair,
away.
fair is
That's
fair.
yeah.
A fabulous baseball player.
That it still doesn't mean I like him. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm part of the, that's the evil empire, and I'm convinced it's the evil empire.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I was just reading, by the way, that Mookie Wilson and Bill Buckner have become close friends.
Is that right? Wow. What a way to close that loop, huh? That's great. That's great.
when you say Bill Buckner, that hurts. that hurts. Because
I know we don't have too much more time, but we got to ask you about the bobblehead dolls. They've been a success from the first. I don't remember who the first player was, but they sold out the first night, or the supply was given out quickly, and they've become a staple. People love the things.
Carlton Fisk, I think.
Was it
Carlton
Carl?
Fisk.
That sounds right.
that sounds right. Yeah. But I mean, that's something that everybody goes for, right? I mean, that's one of the more
Those
popular.
are popular.
Yeah.
You have several nights
Oh,
each
he had
year, I think.
absolutely no rights to do it either. Shouldn't say that, but
Wow. Just did it.
Well,
People loved
sorry,
it.
Colton.
Yeah, well, something he'll get over it. He's still waving that ball. I guess that's all I can remember.
We didn't have the
that-
rules back then, I guess. But
Yeah.
Well.
So now, what's the future for you? What's the future for the Spinners?
well, the Spinners are going to be here long after me. I can guarantee you that. Me, I am probably, heading down the stretch.
Work-wise, in your work career.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, you know what? I've always said that I don't own this team. The Merrimack Valley owns this team. I just happen to be the person was handed the reins at this particular time.
Juggling everything to keep it going.
I guess
right?
I wrote a check at one point, and that gave me something.
Yeah.
But the community owns the team. So one day in the near future, someone else will have their name on the ownership label. But the community will continue to own the team, and that's the way it's going to be.
And now we know why it's such a roaring success in Lowell.
It's a big success, and I think it's a big part to you and your wife. She was a wonderful, wonderful woman that did a lot for this community.
Thank you.
And the team that you've put together. And so
I agree with that.
on behalf of Terry, myself, and all the viewers, we want to say thank you publicly for everything that the Lowell Spinners do. And I really question whether anybody would be as successful as you, because you've done a fabulous job over there. And I hope you stay on for quite a long time to bring that new person up to speed on how important it is the Lowell Spinners are to our community. So.
But don't be in any rush to let those reins go.
Don't let those reins go yet, Mr. Weber. So, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much. Drew Weber from the Lowell Spinners, my co-host Terry Downs. Thank you all for watching Middlesex Matters, and we'll see you very soon. Have a great day.